Taking some nice big deep breaths. We're going to go ahead and come down onto our back, closing our eyes. Starting in our back, we bring our knees into our chest just to feel the spine, and then lengthen it back out. Roll the shoulders back and down. Make sure that there's length within the low back, so you want to draw the tailbone down towards your heels. You're listening to the breath and how it's moving from your belly to your ribs, up to your chest. The palms are facing up. And letting the breath go, coming down. Feeling yourself sink into the ground. Can you feel the heartbeat? And bring your hands onto the body. One hand onto the belly and one hand onto the chest. Again, moving from your belly to your ribs to your chest, inflating and feeling the pressure. Then deflate. Chest comes down, ribs come in, and navel goes to the spine. And releasing the hands back down by your sides. Bringing one knee into the chest at a time and wrapping your arms around the legs. Give yourself that big hug that you had going before at the very beginning. We're going to rock and just move from one side to the other. Opening up the arms and moving the knees over to the left with the head turning to the right. Can you feel the hip, the back, the neck? Whatever it is that you feel, accept it. Move towards it. Inhale, lifting it up. And moving the legs over to the right with the head turning to the left. Take your time. Soften into what you feel, soften into the earth. Can you relax your inner thighs? And let's inhale and lift it back up. Bringing the knees back into the chest. Shoulders soften out. Eyes are closed. Let's circle the ankles. And make sure that you're moving your breath with the movement of the circle. Reversing the direction of the circles. Now relaxing your feet, lifting the legs up to the ceiling, pushing into your heels. I want you to slowly lower the left leg down, holding on to this right leg. Pushing into both heels. Feel the energy. Press down into your right hip. And then bend the right knee. Open the knee out to the side. Keep this left hip anchored to the floor. Inhale, lifting it back up. Bringing both legs up to the ceiling. Holding on to the left leg, slowly lower the right leg down. Push into your heels. If you have a strap or a rope tie or a belt, even a towel or blanket, you can place it around the bottom of the foot and then hold the ends. You want to press into that left hip and then bring the knee into the chest. Right hand onto right hip, open the knee out to the side and rest the foot to the floor. Coming back up and bringing both knees back into the chest. Lifting the legs back to the ceiling. Opening the legs into a straddle. Relaxing your shoulders. Keeping the tailbone drawn down towards the end of the mat. Lifting the legs, bringing it back up, and bring the knees into the chest once again. Lowering the feet down to the floor, keeping the knees bent. Anchor your feet to the ground and lift into a bridge, pressing the shoulders, softening the back of the neck. Bringing the hands down and wiggling the shoulder blades underneath the body, interlacing the fingers. Stretch it out. Feel the neck stretch. Feel the thighs stretch. You're continuously holding on to the glutes, feeling that crunch, that squeeze, but not too much. Don't need a lot. Don't use any extra energy. And then release the hands, drawing the tailbone down towards your heels, bringing the knees back into the chest. Now I'm going to go ahead and lower just the left foot down. Take your right foot and place it onto the left thigh. You're going to press the knee gently away. In a reverse pigeon. Can you still feel the breath? Good. Now bring the left knee into the chest. Find flexion here of this right foot. Pull those toes back. You can even try to push the foot into the arm as you hold on to the knee. You can go above the shin if you have it down farther. If your foot is up, go between the legs and grasp. Your right knee continues to press down towards the end of the mat. Don't go too far into it. You want to be able to breathe and let go of the tension, of the discomfort. Now open the arms, but keep the legs the way that they are. Move the legs over to the left. This right knee presses back. You can use your left hand if you want. You can hold it there, or you can press it back and then hold it. Maybe even placing this right foot to the ground if you want more. Turning the head to the right. Now you may find that your right side and your left side feel completely different. Acknowledge those changes. Don't go any further into a pose than what is comfortable. But if you have a side that needs a little bit more attention, what you do is you just hold it a little bit longer. So if you know that this side is your weaker side or the side that needs a little bit more, stay here and then lift back up if you're okay with where you're at, lifting the right leg up. Push into the heel. You can hold in that twist as long as you feel like you need to. And then we'll go ahead and switch, going to the other side. So come join us whenever you feel as though you want to go into the twist on the other side. You're going into reverse pigeon, finding flexion of the left foot, pressing the left knee away. Breath is deep. Exhale is strong, it's forceful. Bringing the right knee up if you feel like you can. Even though you might be able to get yourself up into a pose, doesn't mean that you should go there. If you're not able to go into the pose and then find a release once there, you need to come out. You don't need to come out of the pose completely, but you do need to maybe bring the foot down to the floor, place it onto a block. You could put books underneath your foot to lift your leg up a little bit. Gonna open up, taking your legs over to the right with your arms open wide, chest is open. Press that left knee, bringing it down towards the end of the mat. Soften into your hips, soften your inner thighs, relax your shoulders. I'm going to hold this for as long as you feel like you need to. Once you get rid of the tension, you might go ahead and want to lift back up. Lifting the left leg up to the ceiling, pushing into your heel. Just allowing the blood to flow from the foot down into the hip, creating lots of oxygen, fresh oxygen, into this left hip. Now bring both knees back into the chest. Can you soften your glutes? Open up your knees, grab hold of your feet, pressing the tailbone down, press the shoulders down. Press your feet into your hands. Now bring the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. Your elbows are to the inner part of your knees and then pressing out to help open the hips. Gonna rock, moving from one side to the other. Enjoy the rock. This is happy baby pose. Put a smile onto your face. Feel the happiness. Rock. Nurture. Feeling the joy from within. Going to bring it back to center. Again, lengthen out the legs into your straddle. Noticing if you're coming down any further than you did before. Are you opening up? Lift the legs. Bring the knees back into the chest. Now the hands come behind the knees. Rock it on up. And we're going to move into a seated position. Lifting your rib cage. Shoulders are back. Chin is in. Eyes are closed. Relax. Bringing the palms up, resting the back of the hands onto the thighs or the knees. Maybe even bringing the thumb and the index finger together to create a circle of energy. Reflect on how you feel. And then we're going to go ahead and open the eyes. Lengthen the left leg out. Keeping this right foot into the left thigh. You're seated tall. The toes are lifted here. And we're going to hinge forward. You should feel this in the back. Keep breathing. Inhale, bring it up. Taking the right knee up, placing the foot out to the side, but the knee is still bent. I want you to take your right arm, roll the shoulder forward, front of the knee or the inner knee, wrapping the forearm around the calf and holding on to the bottom of the foot. Now we're going to go ahead and press the left hand down by your left hip and lift your spine, lifting the right foot up, the shoulders pull back. Lengthen out the right leg as much as you possibly can. This left hand is a support, a way of lengthening your spine. Now bring the foot in, place it to the elbow, and then we'll cradle. Sit up tall. Squeeze the shin in towards the chest while you lift. Good. Now go ahead and rock. Rocking the baby. Good. Lift the foot if you can go a little bit further. Squeeze it in. And then lower the foot. Now for those that want to go even further, there is the next step of putting the foot behind the head. Just want to get everybody's capability, everybody's option. Bring it in there. Don't do it if it doesn't feel like it's a natural thing to do. Go ahead and hinge forward, pushing the knee back with your elbow and the chest towards the foot. Inhale, bringing it back up. We're going to lengthen out this right leg. Take your left foot and bring it into your thigh. Sit up nice and tall. The shoulders are back and down. Toes are lifted. Back is straight. Squeeze those shoulder blades and come down. What do you feel? Where do you feel it? Every inhale, you want to get more length, more extension. And then we'll inhale and bring it up. Take your foot out to the side. Bring your shoulder to the inner part of your knee. And then wrap. Your right hand presses to the ground. As you sit up tall, you're lifting the left foot. Shoulders are back. Lengthening the leg. Feeling a release here within the shoulder itself. Close your eyes. Now bringing that foot over to the right, wrapping the arm around the legs, finding a cradle for your shin. Sit up nice and tall. And lift your foot to a height that is comfortable where you're still able to get rid of that roundness and feel the lift. Feel your sits bones anchoring into the ground. Draw the shin in close. And then we'll go ahead and rock. Rocking the baby. Let's bring it back to center. Lower the foot. Now if it doesn't feel comfortable being on the leg, it could go into the floor. You could also put a block or a book just to elevate the foot up. Keep flexion. And then we'll hinge forward. Pressing the knee down or pushing back. Breathe deep. A little bit of a prism there in the light as the sun shines in. Just breathe, feeling the hip release. Don't fight it. Inhale, lift it up. Let's go ahead and lengthen the left leg. Sit up tall and then hinge forward. Crown of the head, forward, shoulders back, toes up. Let's bring the knees up and come around to hands and knees. Stacking the joints. Rolling the spine in cat-cow. The tailbone is the first thing to move. Roll from your tail to your head, keeping the downward pressure into the palms. Now we'll go ahead and walk the hands out, one hand's distance. Tuck the toes and lift it up. And finding down dog. I want you to bend one knee at a time. Walking the dog. Keep sinking the chest to the thighs and squeeze the elbows in. Feeling the spread of the upper back. Feel the calf muscles as they release. Then we'll walk the dog. Bending one knee at a time. The navel comes up. Squeeze those elbows in. Now release the heels. Sink your chest. Keep that navel lifted. Feel the length. Coming forward into plank. From plank, we lower the chest between the hands. Inhale. Pull the shoulders back and lift up into cobra. And then pulling it back again into a down dog. Lifting the right leg up to a three-legged down dog. Level the hips. And then step the foot forward. Inhale. Raise the arms up. Pushing back into the back heel. Keep your front knee over your ankle. Shoulders are back. Interlacing the fingers behind your back and opening up the chest. Looking up. Let's hinge forward. Go ahead and lower the hands, bringing it down into a runner's lunge. Lowering the left knee, bringing your right hand to the inner part of the foot and wiggle the foot out to the side. You got both hands anchored to the floor. Now go ahead and keep the foot out to the side. Lengthen this right leg. Maybe, if you're able to, you can come down onto your forearms. Even placing a block or some books there will give you a little bit of more support. Maybe not feeling like you have to go down quite so far. No, bending that front knee once again, coming into a lunge. Now move the left hip down and look over your right shoulder. You're using your shoulder to help open up the hip. And then bring it back to center. Can barely see Holly, but she's underneath me wanting to play. Let's go ahead and tuck the toes and lift it back up into a runner's lunge. Coming back to a three-legged down dog. Lifting the right leg up. Lengthening out. Now let's open up the hip, taking the foot across the back side of the body. And then leveling off. Lower the knees. Come back into child's pose. Acknowledge how you're feeling. So you lift it back up. Finding a modified plank. Then walk the dog. Bending one knee at a time. The navel comes up. Squeeze those elbows in. Now release the heels. Sink your chest. Keep that navel lifted. Feel the length. Coming forward into plank. From plank, we lower the chest between the hands. Inhale. pull the shoulders back and lift up into cobra. And then pulling it back again into a down dog. Lifting the right leg up to a three-legged down dog. Level the hips. And then step the foot forward. Inhale. Raise the arms up. Pushing back into the back heel. Keep your front knee over your ankle. Shoulders are back. Interlacing the fingers behind your back and opening up the chest. Looking up. Let's hinge forward. Go ahead and lower the hands. Bringing it down into a runner's lunge. Lowering the left knee. Bringing your right hand to the inner part of the foot and wiggle the foot out to the side. You got both hands anchored to the floor. Now we'll go ahead and keep the foot out to the side. Lengthen this right leg. Maybe, if you're able to, you can come down onto your forearms. Even placing a block or some books there will give you a little bit of more support. Maybe not feeling like you have to go down quite so far. No, bending that front knee once again, coming into a lunge. Now move the left hip down and look over your right shoulder. You're using your shoulder to help open up the hip. And then bring it back to center. Can barely see Holly, but she's underneath me wanting to play. Let's go ahead and tuck the toes and lift it back up into a runner's lunge. Coming back to a three-legged down dog. Lifting the right leg up, lengthening out. I like to open up the hip, taking the foot across the back side of the body. And then leveling off. Lower the knees. Come back into child's pose. Acknowledge how you're feeling. So you lift it back up, finding a modified plank. And we'll lift it back up. Down dog. Lifting the left leg up to three-legged down dog. Hi, dear girl. Level off your hips. And then step the foot forward. Hopefully you won't have a dog in your way. Runner's lunge. And your shoulders are back. Anchoring your feet. Let's inhale and lift off. Circling the arms around. Opening the chest. Look up. And then lean forward. Work. Go ahead and release, bringing the hands down to the ground. And go ahead And move the foot out to the side and melt into your hips. Lowering the right knee to the ground. Hands to the floor. Let's go ahead and look over the left shoulder. Release into that right hip. You're rolling the right shoulder forward. And then we'll bring it back to center. Melt into it. Stretching out the front leg, keeping the hands down, the leg open. Maybe coming down onto your forearms. You're moving your right hip to the front. Pulling that left hip back. Inhale, lifting it back up, finding your lunge. Tuck your toes in the back and lift the knee. Now take this left leg back, lift it. Finding your three-legged down dog. Opening up the hip. Finding a bit of a twist. Then we'll level it off. Lower back down. Down dog. Forward into plank. Lower down. Inhale, lift. Scoop up cobra. Exhaling back. Down dog. Let's take our right foot. Step it up. Shifting your weight forward to get the foot to come up. Lift the arms. Now we're going to open it up into warrior two. Engage the abdominal muscles. Coming in for side angle. Looking up. You can lower down onto your right hand if you want. Your toes in the back are turned, pressing it to the outer edge of the foot. I want you to roll this right shoulder or the left shoulder forward and see if you can hold on to your thigh. Opening up the chest into a half bind. Now stretching out the front leg, finding a bound triangle. You can always have your arm lifted if it's too much. Now bending the front knee. Move this right hand over to the outer part of the foot. You can have the left arm up if you want, and then we're going to lift. So shift your weight forward, lifting up, lengthening out the left. Bend your right knee, bring it back, lowering down. Now I'm just going to turn. And then we'll bring back. Lift to three-legged down dog. Step the foot forward. Inhale, raise the arms up. Sinking down. Let's go ahead and open it up into warrior two. Now your shoulders are over your hips, your knees over your ankle. pressing into this back foot. Side angle. Reach. Keep your shoulder away from your ear. You don't want to collapse into it. Lift and lengthen. Lowering the left hand if you want. Finding a straight line from your heel to your hand, from hand to shoulder, from ankle to knee. Bind if you want. Find the thigh. Maybe you're going to the small of your back. That's okay too. You're not overdoing. And then stretch it out. Triangle. You don't want a lot of weight, if any, on this left hand. You want the spine to be straight. Feel your rotation. Relax the tongue. It's probably cropped up there. Again, you can release the arm up if you want. You can keep it back. Bend the front knee, move this left hand out to the outer part of the foot and a little bit past your toes. Okay, get used to this, get that feel, and then lift up. Keep flexion of your right foot. Now bend the left knee and bring it back. You're going to find your runner's lunge. So sink your hips. Coming back to the three-legged down dog. Lower into down dog. Find yourself going forward into plank. Lower down. Inhale, lift. Scoop up. Exhale back, down dog. Again, keep it flowing. Feel the rhythm. Keep those elbows squeezed in as you lower from plank, down chaturanga. Inhale up, cobra. Back, down dog. Good. From down dog. Look at the space between the hands. Walk, step, or jump. Inhale, lifting up. Halfway. Shift your weight forward. Exhale, releasing down. Bend your knees. Wrap your arms around the legs. Hold on to your elbows. Lifting. The tailbone up, straightening out the legs. And then maybe lowering the arms to the ankles. Big deep breath. Soften. Releasing the hands. Sink it down into a squat. Opening up the knees. Shoulders roll back. Enjoy what you're feeling. Hinging forward. Wrapping it around. Maybe to the thighs, maybe to the heels. Shoulders are rolled forward. Bring the hands back down to the ground. Bring the knees together. Then go ahead and jump back into plank. You can also step back, lifting it up into down dog. Squeeze those elbows in. Listen to your breath. Gonna lift the right leg up. And then bring the knee forward. Finding pigeon. Your knee goes behind your wrist. Your left leg extends back, your left hip forward. We're gonna go ahead and hinge forward. the toes and come back to a three-legged down dog. Lowering down into down dog. Go ahead and switch the legs, finding a three-legged down dog. And then bringing the knee forward for pigeon. Lengthening the right leg, but bring the right hip forward. You find that there is a back bend, a lengthening through the spine. Go ahead and hinge forward and rest. You want to keep moving that right hip towards the front, increasing the stretch in that left side, the glute. Check back in with the tongue. Soften through your upper back and shoulders. Feel your chest melting to the ground. Now inhale and lift it up. Tuck your toes. Slowly and carefully bring it into your three-legged down dog. Down into down dog. Now take our right foot and step it forward. Walk the hands around to the long side of the mat. Turn your toes in and hinge forward. I'm going to bring my feet a little closer together so that I have some room to hang. Interlacing the fingers behind your back or keeping the hands on the ground for support. Keep the back straight. Finding an internal rotation of the thighs for the counter of the external that we've been working on. Now releasing the hands and lifting it back up. Going to turn our toes out. Maybe you need to bring them in a little closer. And then bend your knees. Coming in for a squat. Hold the shoulders back. Hinge forward. Now lift up. Wrap the arms around the calf. Keep the shoulders rolled forward, and if you feel like you can, lift the tailbone up and lengthen the legs. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Looking back. The standing turtle pose. Go ahead and release, coming down into your squat, releasing your arms. And then we'll go ahead and come down onto our buttocks. All right, let's go ahead and with the knees bent, we're going to lift the knees into the chest and the feet up. The shoulders are backing down. Nice straight back. Tap the toes on one side, lift the leg on the other, and then switch. Keep switching. Keep the toes pointed. Lengthen your spine. Good. Now bring both legs up if you're able to. Hold on to the legs as you lean back, chin to chest. Shoulders away from your ears. Feel the breath, listen to it. Bend your knees, come close. Chin up. Open your knees, butterfly. Hold on to your feet, bring them in close to the body. Your back is straight, your shoulders are back, your chest is open. You're going to feel length maybe in the arms, from your fingers all the way up to the ears. And now with the back straight, hinge forward. You can bend your elbows now and come down. Now inhale, lift it up. Bring the knees up, and then we're going to go ahead and lower down onto our back. If you want to, you can have your knees bent. Roll the shoulders back. Keeping the knees bent is going to help with the low back and the tension, the discomfort that you might be feeling there. Now, so have them straight, palms are up. You can put towels or blankets or pillows underneath your knees if you want for support. You can do the same with the back of the neck or the head, having a little bit of a support there. The main thing is that you're not feeling as though you have to adjust once you bring yourself into Shavasana. You want to settle in and be able to let go of the body completely. So the tongue just floats. The eyes melt into the sockets. The breath flows freely. Eventually, don't even recognize the breath. You know it's there. But you're letting it go. You let go of your body from your toes up to the crown of the head, moving systematically from your toes to your ankles, to your legs, letting go of what you feel. And moving into the hips, navel, shoulders, the chest, face to relax, and the cheeks and the jaw. Stay here as long as you wish. And when you're ready, reach the arms up overhead, pressing the shoulders down. And bring the knees slowly into the chest and rolling over onto your side. Inhale, lifting it up. We'll go ahead and come into a seated position. Shoulders rolled back and down. Gonna inhale and raise the arms up overhead, bringing the mind and the body together as the palms touch. We exhale it down to heart center. Namaste.